Hi everyone, welcome to our Fab Sling Sew Along. This is my Fab Sling, and you open the flap. It has some card slots here, pretty good sized opening because of the gusset here. Well, not gusset, but it's the darts, that's the word. Then on the back we have, I've done the clear pocket. Usually can slip a phone or something in there. And then on the sides we have, I think it calls for 5/8 inch D-rings. I could only find 1/2 inch in my stash, so that's what I've used. And then I went ahead and used a 1 inch strap here. I find 1 inch is easier for me, and the hardware was in my stash. So just made it easier for me to use that. And since you're attaching it with the swivel clasps, you can pretty much use any size that you want or that you have on hand. Okay, so a couple of cutting notes. There are two things that are mentioned that you don't have pieces for. That's the card slot strip. I always make these little pieces so that I know that I have extra things to cut. And then you have the strap. So obviously this width is variable based on your hardware that you're using. So make sure to adjust that if need be for your strap. Or you can just use webbing for your strap if you'd like. The big thing about this one is that there are two options for the back. So you have the clear vinyl pocket here, or you can do it with a zipper, or if you wanted, I suppose you could do nothing and just do a plain pocket. So for this one, the fabric that I'm using is this teacher fabric. I have two teachers to make gifts for, and so it works out. I will do one with the clear pocket and one with the zipper for each teacher. So this will be my kids' teacher gifts this year. Make sure when you cut the flap, you cut one right side up and one upside down, so that so this one's the right side up, this will be the outside, and then when I lift it up, it'll be right side up when I have the flap up. So I messed that up on this one. I didn't think about it. So when I open it, this is upside down. You can tell with that flower that part's upside down. It may not bother you, but it kind of bothers me a little bit now that I know it's there. Okay, so you'll need this. I used cotton woven. You could use other materials if you'd like. It needs to be like a cotton woven or canvas, something like that. If you're wanting to use leather, you need to do the other pattern, the slim sling, rather than this one, the Fab Sling. This one's specifically made for things like your wovens. Okay, and then for lining, I'm using waterproof canvas, so I don't need to interface this. For the woven, I did interface this, and I used Pixie Fuse Light. Okay, there is also a piece for Decoville Light. It specifically says Decoville Light on it, and so I've cut these. It calls for two. So you will need the Decoville Light. Otherwise, the hardware and pieces are pretty straightforward. You will need two small D-rings. If you use larger D-rings, it makes it hard to make this curve and hard to fit it in there. You can see there's not a whole lot of space. So try and get, 5/8 inch or 1/2 inch for these. And you will need the two swivel clasps unless you are doing skinny ones and you just sew them right in. I suppose you could do that too. And then we need a magnetic clasp here, or you could use a turn lock if you wanted for that. And then the clear vinyl, this one's obviously a printed one, but you could use just regular clear vinyl from Joann or something like that. All right, so go ahead and do all of your cutting this week. You only need to do one of the option A or B, either the clear vinyl or the zipper, not both. So pay attention to your pieces when you're cutting those. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. For this one, I usually use my small cutter so that I can get around these corners and then into that slit. Sometimes I'll just round out the whole corner and then use my scissors to cut that slit. You can tell I've used this a lot and it's had some damage to the piece, but eventually I'll have to reprint it. For your clear vinyl one, you'll want to go ahead and cut out that piece. All right, I think that's it. So make sure to get all of your cutting and interfacing done this week, and I will see you all next week when we begin sewing. Bye, everyone.